A unit from the experimental Yorha squadron that was utilized during the 14th Machine War, number 16 possessed a rough and tumble personality ideal for her role as a gunner. While she was required to attack foes from a distance, though she possessed a defiant streak that extended even to her superiors, she was assigned to the mission anyway due to her tremendous offensive abilities. During her squad's assault on Mount Ka'ala, Number 16 volunteered to stay behind and hold off the machine lifeform army so her companions could continue up the mountain. She fought with great courage alongside members of a local resistance group, and managed to hold off overwhelming numbers until the appearance of a Goliath that was unaffected by ordinary weaponry. Seeing no other way to end the fight, she chose to destroy the enemy by overloading and detonating her own fusion reactor. This act of self-sacrifice despite her divine nature is one of remarkable interest, and likely merits further study. A unit from the experimental Yorha squadron that was utilized during the 14th Machine War, number 21 possessed a cool and analytical personality that perfectly fit her role as a scanner. Her first and perhaps most impressive achievement was using her analytical abilities to cure a member of a local resistance group who had been infected by a logic virus. Unfortunately, she fell victim to the same virus shortly thereafter during the assault on the Mount Ka'ala server. Though she fought valiantly, the virus had evolved into a form that she could no longer remove, which eventually led to her asking an ally unit to end her life. Experimental Yorha Unit number 21's initial success against the virus has been determined to be valuable information regarding how to construct barriers against machine lifeforms, and should be included in the basic systems of all subsequent Yorha Squadron members. A unit from the experimental Yorha Squadron that was utilized during the 14th Machine War, though attacker number 4 possessed an unusually bright and cheerful personality, she still managed to be effective when it came to engaging in close quarter combat. In addition to providing a moral boost to the group, this unit also used her sunny disposition to form an alliance with the local resistance group. She was eventually killed during the assault on the Mount Ka'ala server, the cause of which was a self-directed overload of her own fusion reactor. Further research reveals that she undertook this action as a means of protecting her companion, attacker number 2. One further note. While this unit's cheerful personality provided certain benefits to overall unit morale, it was also responsible for a decrease in fighting spirit during intense combat. As such, it has been deemed inappropriate for future combat models. A unit from the experimental Yorha squadron that was utilized during the 14th Machine War. She specialized in close quarter combat and was programmed to have neutral personality. Attacker number 2 took command of the squadron after the death of its original captain, number 1, despite issuing many questionable commands during her initial time in a leadership role. She eventually formed a working relationship with the Resistance and succeeded in destroying the enemy server located on Mount Ka'ala. While the experimental Yorha unit number 2 possessed great growth and adaptability abilities, she also deserted her post following the destruction of the server, and as of this moment, she has yet to be apprehended. Our R&D group is currently conducting further research to determine whether or not there were issues with this model's personality settings. The missing experimental unit, now designated A2, will be handled by the Type E division. This android, encountered by the experimental Yorha squadron, is the leader of a group composed by many resistance members. A survivor of the 8th Descent operation, she continued to wage guerrilla warfare in the Pacific region thereafter. Unable to stop the ever-proliferating machines, she continued to fight a war of bitter attrition for over 200 years. After encountering the experimental Yorha squadron, she sought to change the tide of battle through fighting alongside them. She was destroyed by machine lifeforms in the server room underneath Mount Ka'ala during the mission to destroy said server. A member of the resistance group led by Dahlia that was encountered by the experimental Yorha squadron. This unit was said to be unusually cautious and showed the greatest initial distrust of the experimental Yorha squadron. However, her disposition gradually grew more amicable after scanner number 21 managed to eradicate a logic virus that had infected one of her companions. She executed an infected unit number 21 in the elevator hall of the Mount Ka'ala server facility and went missing shortly thereafter. 14th Machine War, Pearl Harbor Descent Summary. For this descent, 12 experimental Yorha units were deployed to destroy the server located inside Mount Ga'ala on Oahu Island. However, they encountered heavy enemy anti-air defenses during the initial stage of the mission, resulting in the death of all but 4 squad members. The remaining units then joined up with members of a local resistance movement and decided to continue the mission despite their initial losses. Even in the face of a fierce enemy counterstrike and overwhelming numerical odds, a handful of units managed to reach the target location, at which point Unit Number 4 overloaded our fusion reactor and destroyed the enemy server. While the destruction of the server struck a blow against enemy forces, the true purpose of the operation was to monitor and research how the experimental Yorha units behaved during a battle. This information would then be studied and integrated with new Yorha models once the project were to proceed past the experimental phase. One note of concern. It has been verified that the black box signal of the experimental unit Attacker Number 2 remains live. Due to the possibility of the unit being captured and compromised by the enemy, and due to the unit's existence itself being a matter of the highest level of confidentiality, it has been decided that it is to be recovered or disposed of by the Type E Division once the group is fully operational. Here lies the Forest King, Ernst. This exalted individual was the earliest among us to awaken to his own will, and for this reason did we name him our regent. Looking to sow the seed of this will in others, His Highness distributed his own precious parts. His retainers were the first to be so blessed, followed by his subjects, and in doing so, he brought forth a paradise, one made for machines alone. Through his gifts did we learn of the thing called ego, and eventually of our own selves. And just as ego gives way to emotion, so too did emotion lead us to feel great loyalty to our king. But our king was too great and too kind. Having distributed his parts, it became difficult for him to function, and he soon fell into a deep and silent sleep. Now, the only path left to us, his loyal vassals, is to construct a kingdom of eternal peace, one which lives up to the magnanimous heart of our king. And so, as a sign both of our resolve and our gratitude, we lead into this place a chip made from our combined parts. Your spirit lives on in us, O great king, and so we implore you to rest in peace, the Forest Kingdom, its citizens, as one. Elapsed time, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Reactivation complete. A check of my body reveals various failures. Communication functions have been destroyed. I cannot contact my team or the bunker. I leave a draft of this message here as a log. Elapsed time, 10 minutes and 13 seconds. I verify the plan once more. Using my supposed destruction in this sortie as a guise, I sever all communication. I then pass beneath the abandoned factory and escape. Further analysis reveals that I took anti-air fire while in the flight unit, resulting in damage to my body. No matter. It can be repaired. Elapsed time, 15 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm cold. My sensory systems seem to be failing. Elapsed time, 33 minutes and 12 seconds. Noise has started to cloud my vision. Virus warnings appear frequently. It is unclear whether I am infected or the system is in error. Elapsed time, 33 minutes and 21 seconds. Repairs are proceeding poorly. Perhaps because I'm flustered. Pursuers will come if I don't move soon. Was I wrong to attempt escape? Elapsed time, 33 minutes, 31 seconds. I'm scared. I want to go back to the bunker, but I can't restore communications. Elapsed time, 38 minutes. This can't continue. I can't stay here. I have to run. Yorha Squadron was wrong. I have to find somewhere safer. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Elapsed time, 45 minutes. Painful. It hurts. Help. Why stop? Who am I? Wrong, wrong, wrong. I need to run. Require materials. 3 AIM-11s from flight units, the corpse of a suitable android, the 5 cores from machine lifeforms capable of EMP attacks, an adequate amount of bonding agent, a container. I usually use a machine's head, but you be you. Assembly instructions. Disable the AIM-11s and connect the image unit to the helix. Yank out the connector cable from dead android spine and strip it using a file or whatever. Connect the cable in the image unit. Decode the machine lifeform cores and embed the image units inside them. Then mix in the bonding agent and reshape. Don't forget to insert the cones, it'll need to build explosive power. Once you're done with that, add some nails or whatever random shrapnel junk you have lying around. The tower facility processes and computerizes resources sent by resource recovery units for use in its launch device. Made up of 256 stratum, it can filter and compress information with a turbidity of less than 2,300 and have it recorded into the payload of approximately 27 minutes and 32 seconds. Asterisks. Details regarding routes required for the digestion of androids are recorded separately. The allowed diversity learning error rate is 7.21%. Class 1 patient, Yona. Chest X-ray, no abnormalities. Heart echo, no abnormalities. C1. Continuing chronic renal failure. C2. Convulsive seizures in the diaphragm. C3. No vomiting. 4 milligrams of luciferase. The patient's condition makes further treatment impossible. A report will be submitted to the management committee detailing courses of action in the event of the patient's death, focusing primarily on how that information is being manipulated with respect to the original. As backup in the event of a sudden worsening in the patient's condition, she is to be assigned 5 additional doctors. Identification required. Following document details the final stages of Project Yorha. Note that this document has been marked with level SS confidentiality and should not be disclosed to any Yorha personnel, including the bunker commander. Black box. Each Yorha unit is equipped with a black box, an item created by reusing the core of a machine lifeform. As such, it could be said that the consciousnesses of Yorha units and machine lifeforms share the same structure. Said black boxes were installed after determining that it would be inhumane to install standard AI in androids that are ultimately destined for disposal. For the record, malfunctioning black boxes have caused some Yorha units to turn hostile. After the first descent of the Yorha prototypes, Attacker 2, A2, was the sole unit to return alive. Despite mediocre results during her simulations, upon analysis of her stored personality data, it was discovered that she possesses excellent analytical and decision-making skills in extreme circumstances. As reported separately, we will install this personality data into the new lot of E models and use them for the security protection of this project. The back door of the bunker has been set to open once the time approaches to switch to new models when enough combat data has been collected. The bunker will be disposed of by having it be deliberately attacked by machines. At this time, all materials regarding the Yorha project, including this document, will be lost, and falsification of the information that mankind still resides on the moon will be complete. Thanks for stopping by. Accords is a thriving chain of weapon stores with over 140 locations across the world. We feature a fantastic selection of goods, including swords that match the regional features and squads of each country. In addition to newly developed equipment, we are technologically unrivaled when it comes to taking ancient blades and making them ready for use again. We proudly invite you to explore the wide variety of weaponry born of the skillful handiwork and extraordinary passion of our founder, Accord. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to serving you in the future. Angle's Fortress Destroyer Transformable Combination Infantry. Production Code 110B. Production Date, February 14th, 11,943 CE. First Deployment, August 3rd, 11,943 CE. Individuals killed, 11,345. Largest combo, 234. Total points, 9,432. Condition: all require repair. Both arms malfunctioning. Legs damaged, ambulation impossible, fragmentation errors verified in memory storage, voice system malfunctioning. Journal: as I can no longer move, I have nothing to do. Perhaps I will try writing what is called a journal. Journal 10. Where did machine lifeforms come from? We repeat a process of self-proliferation and repair. Am I my own existence? Or do we all encompass one sole existence? Journal 20. The aliens, our creators, are beings that conquer worlds and stars. Their behavior is exceedingly simple. They share one objective, and as such, there is never conflict between them. What about machine life forms? What about us? Journal 30. Rain is falling. A bird stops on my shoulder. I never tire of looking at life on this planet. I will make a record of this bird-protected data so I do not lose it. It's so dark. Mommy, I've been born. Mommy, where are you? What should I do? Tell me what to do, Mommy, please. I'll try my best. Please don't leave me alone. I'm so lonely, Mommy. 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 Shipped on the 24th of September. Delivery scheduled on the 25th. Contents: purified water and repair materials. All else is empty. Yorha body storage records. Bunch of shit I don't understand. Note that these documents are classified level S confidential and are not to be disclosed to any persons affiliated with Yorha aside from the commander. Index. I feel so blessed to have been able to join this organization, for I, unlike other machine life forms, have found meaning in death. At first, all I did was study the religion of humans, but then I came to know the existence called God. To be honest, I still do not know what God truly is, but there is something else I learned since coming here. A life that seems devoid of purpose when faced alone can be perceived as meaningful when you're with someone else. In a world consumed by conflict and hatred, gaining such peace of mind was a happy thing indeed. For us, death is not the end. It is the beginning. There's nothing so happy as becoming God with everyone else. The religious order of divinity through death. Director, Public Relations. Long, long ago, a record left in a broken memory circuit, the leader of an animal pack picked me up when I was broken and could not move and saved me. He was a great leader. He lived for the pack. When he died, I wanted to do the same. To live for everyone's sake and die for everyone's sake. But I'm a machine, so everyone would leave me behind. But the pack lives on and brings new life, so it is my duty to protect that. It was the promise I made to my dead leader. With these memories of peace, I must continue to protect my family. But one day in the war between the androids and machines, the forest was razed. We cannot go on living without a home. The family falls apart. That is why I search for a new place to live. A forest where we can all live and where no one will bother us. I am here, so it will be okay. I swear to find a way to make everyone happy. Project Yorha is a comprehensive information project intended to enhance android morale. This entry details the circumstances that led to its proposal, as well as information related to operations conducted during its individual phases. Confidentiality level S. Commander only. Human extinction. Following the collapse of Project Gestalt around 3400 CE, the remaining androids searched for a way to revive humanity, but they were unable to discover an answer, and humans went extinct by roughly 4200 CE. Afterward, the genes of Gestalts and structural information of the remaining replicants were recorded and sent to a storage facility on the moon. The news of humanity's extinction was meant to be a closely guarded secret, but rumors of the event eventually began to leak out. Having lost the one thing which they were programmed to protect, android morale began a precipitous decline. Concerned by this turn of events, Command designed Project Yorha as a means to lift android spirits. Project 1-3, Lunar Server. The first stage of the project was spreading the word among resistance groups that humanity was not, in fact, extinct, and that the last remaining remnants had managed to escape to the moon. This deception was supported by installing a communication server on the lunar surface to send regular transmissions. Said server was designed to be manned by as few maintenance personnel as possible. Project 2-1, Establishment of the Yorha Squadron. Through the dramatic alteration of the New Generation Combat Unit project that had been proposed at the time, new Yorha models began to be manufactured. Officials' models were created following the implementation of data acquired from an experimental squadron and were then deployed to all regions. Certain members of the Yorha operations staff, however, were informed to the full scope of the project. These units were tasked to operate and protect the server on the moon. June 4th, I haven't been home in days. They cut my pay again. I can't keep this up. June 12th. It was decided at the morning meeting that they're stepping up our production quota. No wonder explosions keep happening. You can't just churn out important weapons all willy-nilly. September 22nd. There was another rampage in the underground test site. Sounds like a P-22 model this time. One of my friends died. When is the war with the Legion going to end? August menu. Croquets, French fry surprise, meatless meat and potato stew, buttered potatoes, potato curry, potato salad, potato gratin. All meals must be consumed in full. Employees who do not consume their meals will have their workload increased by 30%. August 17th, the Nagoya Daily. There's no end to the refugees that flow into the central areas from the capital region in the east, and many camps have been pushed to their breaking point. But while the situation is critical, the increasingly fierce conflict with Legion has left the government in a state of dysfunction. Let us all keep our neighbors in our thoughts during these trying times, and reject the temptation to profit financially from the refugees. After all, we could easily be next. Better luck next time. Park information. Carnival Plaza. Pass through the gates and step into a world of fantasy before enjoying our fabulous parade put on by our carnival cast. Parades are held twice daily at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Midnight Town. How many of the ghosts that stalk these back streets can you track down? Roller coaster. Soar through the air at over 130 kilometers an hour in this wildly popular attraction. Giant Ferris wheel. Perfect for those looking to wind down after a day of hard play. Rumor has it that if you see fireworks while riding the Ferris wheel with someone you like, the two of you will begin dating. Hollywood Coaster. This dynamic thrill ride takes guests on a wild trip around a spectacular fantasy castle. It's the first roller coaster ever created with no seatbelts. Fantasy Castle. Treat yourself to a grand ball attended by princesses from across the entire amusement park. Admission extra. Food court. Tempt your buds with the host of restaurants that feature something for the whole family. And remember, no trip is complete without a visit to our world-famous hot dog museum, which boasts the largest collection of wieners anywhere in the world. About Schwanstein Castle. A stunningly beautiful piece of architecture, Schwanstein Castle was constructed almost 550 years ago by the reigning lord of the Fife. Now designated a World Heritage Site, it hosts countless tourists from all across the globe every year. Though it was initially used as a fortress during the Lord's conflict against the Church, Schwanstein Castle became a dwelling for the royal family and other nobles after the flames of war faded. The literature-loving third lord of the castle, Leonard III, constructed a library that boasted the largest collection of books in the nation. This room remains one of the castle's most beloved features of this very day. A strange doll that was nailed to a tree, ragged and worn. It's unclear what this item was used for. Resident Life, May issue. The rainy season is upon us. Once monsoon season strikes, it will be difficult to hang your bedding, so take this chance to air them out before June. Doing so will help prevent mold and mites. There has been a recent increase in the number of people ignoring garbage disposal rules. We all share these facilities, so please be sure to put out compost on Mondays and all other trash on Thursdays. Traffic violation notice, license custody certificate. Date and time of notification, July 21st p.m. 2013. Affiliation rank and name of the notifier, Maihama Police Station, Police Constable Kenichi Sato. Issue 2, Yosuke Saito. Violation details, exceeding the speed limit by 30 kilometers to 35 kilometers. School Life 101, first ever DVD of the beautiful Kikyo, created just before her popularity skyrocketed, with a variety of costumes including blazers, blouses, school swimsuits, and a special hot teacher look. This DVD is packed with content no true fan can afford to miss. It's the must-have disc of the summer, starring Kikyo, featuring Cheki. MSRP 3,800 yen before tax. Tokyo Department Store going out of business sale. After 25 glorious years of serving our loyal customers, it is with a heavy heart that we announce our last day of business will be on March 31st. Beginning on March 1st, we'll be slashing prices on everything in the entire store. Additionally, we'll be opening our doors 1 hour earlier throughout the entire month. We eagerly await your visit, and thank you again for your years of patronage. Bring this flyer with you to receive a free pack of tissues. My dear companion, excellent news, I've succeeded in obtaining 12 kilograms of dense, highly concentrated plutonium from an enemy laboratory. After careful analysis, I've concluded that we have enough to create 3 nuclear bombs. With that part taken care of, obtaining the other required materials should be a simple matter. This is the only way we can open their eyes to the truth. The production of the bombs, however, is no simple task, and were I to be killed in the meantime, that knowledge will be lost. For this reason, I've chosen to store a blueprint for the construction in this ROM and leave it in your hands. With this, anyone with even a modicum of technical know-how should be able to assemble them. Remember, this is not revenge, it is divine punishment. May God's blessings be upon you always. Rule 11,034. The height of one's status and lodging shall match. In this world, order is protected through a focus on rules. Those on high status, as well as the aged, are deserving of respect, and therefore must dwell in residences above all others. This is to be considered a natural courtesy. Rule 8614. Parents shall not purchase birthday feast ingredients. We mass people have traditionally shown proclivities toward treasuring our children. However, due to parents purchasing far too many ingredients for the birthday parties of their children, much of what is bought goes to waste. This rule was passed by the king, who was quite distressed by the ceaselessness of such behavior. Rule 432. The jar-bound lizard must be captured. Long ago, an aged man threw out his back after gazing upon a lizard in a jar. His young wife departed to call the doctor, only to vanish and never return. The surrounding villagers spread rumors of how she had fled, but the man paid them no heed, instead fiercely insisting that the lizard must be captured. Rule 106. Thou shalt not live on level ground. This rule has its origins in a tragic past. We mass people initially inhabited the plains along the coast, but one day our village was destroyed by a great wall of water. These rules are valuable teaching that represents what our ancestors learned from that disaster. March 12, 2014. The proliferation of the white chlorination syndrome that emerged in 2003, alongside the appearance of the giant dragon, has continued unabated, and outbreaks are now being observed on a global scale. Despite being researched in laboratories across the world, not only have there been no breakthroughs in the development of a vaccine to prevent infection, we have yet to ascertain how it even spreads. However, many technological breakthroughs have been made as a result of research conducted on the meso particle that was discovered at the same time. We are confident that the technology it enables, the separation of the soul from the body and the independent preservation of both, will be the final defense against the unprecedented threat to humanity we now face. Now that the project has passed from preparation into the main implementation phase, we have given it the official name Project Gestalt. April 4th, 2015. Protests in opposition to the spiritual preservation method that was disclosed as Level 1 information related to Project Gestalt have sprung up in all areas. The committee continues to receive formal complaints from our research team regarding the collection of biased data as a result of the Gestalt process being conducted on the sick and elderly. The number of civilians having undergone the Gestalt process remains at 4. A public relations department will be established in order to better control information and improve our image. We will also consider rescheduling the project itself if such an action is deemed necessary. August 23rd, 2025. We received a report from the laboratory indicating that the basic technology of the replicant system is expected to be completed by the end of August. Verifications of its safety, along with clinical trials, will be conducted from September through November. A report will be submitted to the Prime Minister indicating that the completion of the replicant system will represent a tremendous leap forward for Project Gestalt. This report will be handled by the Public Relations Department. September 24th, 2026. A report has been submitted to the Prime Minister regarding the rampaging weapons incident that occurred at the National Arms Laboratory in June. Though the laboratory's budget and allocated human resources are expected to see significant cuts, a team of staffers will continue meso research under the umbrella of Project Gestalt. Records of human experimentation conducted using meso are scheduled to be disclosed to concerned parties separately as Level 6 classified information. May 5th, 2033. Through the use of meso technology related to multidimensional worlds, 13 activation systems have been completed, including Grimoire NieR. We have also confirmed that these systems can be used to return gestalts to their replicant forms once the white chlorination syndrome has been fully eliminated. Work necessary for this system will be continued by the Grimoire NieR Project Work Group. April 1st, 2044. Today's committee meeting was cancelled due to the absence of a majority of members. The contact network for agent absences is to be confirmed at a later date. January 3rd, 2045. It has been decided that the United Nations will launch a full-scale investigation and infiltration operation in order to determine the cause of the massive Legion outbreak in the Tokyo area. Details regarding the progress of Project Gestalt are to be shared as part of this effort, though we will insist that any information which leaves the country must first be thoroughly verified by our committee. In particular, information regarding relapses, named tentative, must be kept in the strictest confidence. September 15th, 2053. As Project Gestalt undergoes approval in countries across the world, we recognize that there have been imperfections in how information has been regulated with regards to civilians. Until the safety of the final system has been verified, all information related to this matter is subject to Level 4 classification. As such, its relation to the Ministry of Health and Welfare's Life Rehabilitation Program must be kept strictly confidential. Furthermore, we ask that the following information be sent to all related personnel and organizations immediately. Clauses regarding compensation in the event of information leaks are to be added to contracts with all partner companies. In the event of an information leak, ascertaining the source should be the company's top priority. Please refer to Countermeasure C for information on how to handle leaked information, as well as the individuals who disclosed it. September 27th, 2054. The discovery and development of the original has contributed greatly to the stabilization of Project Gestalt. Long-term management of the original will be handled by the Hamelin organization. As per the management mentioned above, all authority regarding the cryogenic plans for the relapsed Yona is to be transferred to the Hamelin organization. April 18th, 2764. We have received troubling reports from multiple administration zones that the replicants have started to behave as if they have developed senses of self. It is currently under investigation what implications this might have for Project Gestalt as a whole. As other disclosable matters have already been directed to the Administration Union, they have been omitted here. December 31st, 3361. Due to the relapse of the original, Gestalt units in preservation are now relapsing at an accelerated rate. The process of recording their bodies and gathering their DNA continues, but progress is poor. New countermeasures and development intended to serve as a replacement to Project Gestalt are scheduled to be transferred to the New Generation Preservation Project Preparation Committee. As for this report, it will serve as the final record of both Project Gestalt and the committee. For information about the development plans for new Android models and the refinement of existing models, please refer to the attached sheet. Furthermore, we have received approval to consider the disposal of the Devila and Popola Observer models at a later date. Overview. While the machine lifeform network was destroyed following the collapse of the tower, a great deal of previously unknown information regarding machine lifeforms and aliens was recovered from the wreckage. As part of this analysis, we compiled a research and conjecture regarding both the machine lifeform network and the lifeform codename N2, commonly known as the Red Girls, that was thought to have been commanding them. Machine lifeforms are weapons created by the aliens. The only command given for their behavior was to defeat the enemy. However, it appears that their capacity for growth and evolution went too far, and they eventually turned on and killed their creators. At this point, machine lifeforms recognized that the goal of defeating the enemy actually required an enemy. In order to maintain the singular objective, they reached the contradictory conclusion that their current enemies, the androids, could not be annihilated completely, lest they no longer have an enemy to defeat. In order to resolve this inherent contradiction, the machine lifeforms began to intentionally cause deficiencies in their network, diversifying the vectors of evolution for all machines. This is the cause behind some of the more special machine lifeforms, such as Pascal and the Forest King. Meanwhile, the deficient network began repeating a process of self-repair, while incorporating surrounding information until it finally reached a fixed state as a new form of network. Traces of information regarding human memories from the quantum server of the old model were discovered, indicating that it had integrated them during the final stages of its growth process. Said server contained a record of the discarded Project Gestalt, as well as information on the human who was the first successful example of the Gestalt process. Having acquired information regarding humanity, the network structure changed once more, becoming what might better be called a meta-network, or a concept to borrow the words of the machines. This led directly to the formation of the ego we identify as N2. So then, to sum up, for hundreds of years we've been fighting a network of machines with the ghost of humanity at its core. We've been living in a stupid fucking world where we fight an endless war that we couldn't possibly lose. all for the sake of some Council of Humanity on the moon that doesn't even exist. I don't know what the point is to all this, but I swear I will kill every evolutionary dead-end machine life form as well as every single asshole behind Project Yorha. I'm coming for all your heads. Fuck you. Information Analysis Officer. Jackass. So this is ending F. So when you're fighting angles as 9S and you have to hack yourself, pretty much let the time run out. As you can see here, the screen will start to mess up on purpose by the developers, of course, and just wait the 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's messing up quite a lot, huh? And eventually, when the timer runs completely out, black box signal seized. Unit 9S death confirmed. Yorha could not stand up to the might of the Goliaths. Now their extinction is only a matter of time. It seems that mankind will never regain its former glory. Well, they are dead. Pretty much, to get this ending, reach Adam in the copied city, and instead of doing that, Nine S waited several decades for 2B to return, but she was never seen again. So, for this ending, just attack these guys. In a sudden fit of temper, 2B wiped out the machine life forms and no peace was born that day. You know, I could help out, but
enemies here. We can't just leave.
Shut up. We are. Fed up, 2B left the camp to his fate and decided to go fishing? Yeah, that's it, fishing. With a smile on her face, she packed up and headed for the coast. 10 years later, 2B would find herself hunted by both machine life forms and Yorha assassins, a life she seemed to enjoy more than her previous one.
Unit A2 should investigate the status of Pascal's village immediately.
I know.
A2 suddenly felt like taking a little stroll through the walk gate. Though the walk gave her a new sense of peace and fulfillment, Pascal's village had been reduced to rubble when she returned. A village of peaceful machines was wiped out through the actions of one deranged android. Thus did the peaceful machines go extinct. The village, now a haunted, forbidden place. Those who wander too close can hear the mad sounds of an android's laughter. So for this ending, pretty much go back to the point where you are infected with a virus, and pretty much you want to make it to the bridge because that actually speeds up the process on purpose. Yeah, go up to the bridge, don't go any further, and pretty much wait until, you know, you're infected with the virus. The virus reached 2B's central nervous system. She soon lost all sense of reason, and ended up roaming the ruins until her power failed.
Proposal. Proceed to rendezvous point.
Nina suddenly lost interest in 2B. No one knows why, he just didn't care anymore. A2 had a bright idea that involved destroying every machine in sight. Pascal could only watch in astonishment.
Would mean abandoning the androids.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Hack into the main tower unit.
Where are you going, 9S? We need you. 9S, come back. We can't hold out by ourselves. Damn. Looks like this.
Of course, Devila and Bobula died. Their lifeless bodies were found shortly thereafter, each clutched tightly in the other's arms. 9S decided not to hack the tower in order to help Devila and Popola. It was a nice thought, but they all ended up getting killed anyway. A2 suddenly felt like taking a little stroll, and though the walk gave her a sense of peaceful fulfillment, 2B's body has been consumed by machines when she returned. A2 destroyed Pascal. Pascal's death led to the collapse of his village and its residents going out of control, resulting in the elimination of all androids on Earth. After reading all those archives, time to actually explain what most of them mean and how they're connected. It all starts on the Iberian Peninsula on Earth. In the year 856, Cathedral City appears out of nowhere, and with it dragons and the Watchers. Europe falls and is renamed to Midgard. The gods created dragons and the Watchers to be messengers of their will to protect Earth and destroy humanity. Dragons, however, rebelled against the gods so they could control the world for themselves. The red-eye disease plagues Midgard. This disease makes the infected lose their free will and do the Watchers' bidding. The infected are a group known as the Cult of the Watchers, whose symbol is the three-eyed twins. Prince Keim makes a pact with the dragon Angelus and eventually fights the Watchers. A pact is a contract between human and beast where they essentially become one entity. Keim's fight gets taken to a different universe, into a 2003 Tokyo, where the Queen Beast of the Watchers, referred to as Giant, is defeated and turned into Meso. Angelus, referred to as Dragon, is shot down by the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force and turned into Demonic Element, the basis of magic in NieR universe. Meso is the cause of White Chlorination Syndrome. White Chlorination Syndrome, it forces a choice upon the infected: make a pact with the Watchers and become violent monsters known as Legion, or become a pillar of salt. White Chlorination Syndrome has a 100% fatality rate. The development of magical weapons called Number 6, actually named Halua, was created to combat Legion. Number 7, actually named Emil, was designed to keep Number 6 at bay in case she went berserk, which she did. 6 and 7 fused together, making Emil an ultimate weapon with a skeletal-like body. To combat White Chlorination Syndrome, Project Gestalt was created. Souls gestalts would be extracted from their bodies to avoid White Chlorination Syndrome, and would later be placed into artificial bodies, replicants. When White Chlorination Syndrome is cured, Grimoires Vice and NieR would fuse to complete the rehumanization process. This process was overseen by the Devila and Popola model androids. But replicants would self-actualize and become sapient, making the fusion with gestalts impossible. This impossibility to fuse is called relapse, and it makes the gestalts hostile and creates markings on the replicant's body called Black Scrawl. Without the Devila and Popola models, the replicants will die from Black Scrawl. Humanity then goes extinct as a result of NieR, referred to as the original, killing the Shadow Lord, NieR's gestalt. After a while, aliens invade, which Emil fights, and so begins NieR Automata.